Are you in the market for some drugstore makeup products but just don't know where to start? Some of these have been around for a really long time, but I thought I'd pick up a couple of things that were specifically for over 50 skin and what would flatter and compliment us, because when you go to the drugstore, it's overwhelming. There's so many colors, there's so many choices, and every day there's something new coming out. So where do you even start? It's really a challenge because there's no testers. With that being said, I picked up some fun stuff. Here we go. The first thing is the e.l.f. palette for eyes. Now this one is the Everyday Smokey. I'm a brunette, have brown eyes, and therefore I typically go for browns or any kind of neutral. However, this one is for everybody, which is why I picked it up, regardless of your eye or hair color. You can use it for every day. This is what it looks like. My goodness, look at all the color choices you have. Now, who is this for? This is for any age group, actually. It doesn't matter how old you are. This is supposed to be, for mature skin over 50, 60, 70 plus. But this product is universal in the regard that the color scheme is fabulous. It's got a light highlighter color. You've got a mid-tone, kind of a peachy bronze, a neutral taupe, and as you can see, these are all some very wearable browns, taupes, smokiness, so you can jazz yourself up and make a real smoky look out of this, or you can take some of the lighter colors down here at the end and create an everyday look. You can use the darker colors for liners. I mean, it's endless. The possibilities are endless. Let's talk about the texture and the wear of this product. When I applied this to my bare lid, I was a bit taken aback because it was silky, smooth, extremely pigmented. But this is a liner, this is a liner, and this is a beautiful, almost like a purple violet taupe. It's really beautiful. After about 6 hours, I noticed that the frost, now you've got matte, shimmer, kind of a shimmer slash frost, but I did notice that in my crease of my eye, the product that is a shimmer formula did give a little creasing in my eyelid. But mind you, I didn't have on a primer. If I had on an eyelid primer, shadow primer, I typically use the Urban Decay, and I love the Milani one as well. If I had on an eyeshadow primer, I do not believe this would have creased on my eye. So therefore, the performance of this is out of sight. It really is terrific. Now, I always like to find a rival if I have a drugstore product, like who does this compare to? Who's this rival? Well, the rival for this one is my Urban Decay 3 Naked Palette. It absolutely has almost the identical color scheme. I can't get over it. This is outstanding. 5 out of 5 stars. Congratulations, e.l.f. You knocked my socks off. All right, that's our first one. The second thing I would like to test for us, you're going to be, Kimberly, what are you thinking? This has been on the shelf forever and forever ago. It is the Covergirl blush. You know this. It's been around forever and ever. But guess what? We have 2 products in one. I chose the color Soft Mink. Here it is. This color is fabulous. I have it on. I'm wearing everything today, and I am so overwhelmed by the color payoff, the performance of these drugstore products. Now, this is an oldie but a goodie. I've been using it as a bronzer to warm up my face. The color payoff on this is simply marvelous. You will not be disappointed. The color payoff on this is spectacular, and it doesn't fade away. Of course, you can see this is a powder formula. It is not patchy. It doesn't skip color. It doesn't fade away in 2 hours. I didn't have to put tons of it on to get a color payoff. You put a little on, it's buildable. What I really love about this product is the fact that it has a little bit of iridescent to it. So when you're in the sunlight or even in the house or anywhere there's a light and you slightly turn your head, it gives a little shimmer to you. So that's why I said it's like a highlighter, blush, and a bronzer. So it's a trifecta actually. I thought it was a blush and a bronzer, but in actuality, it's a trifecta of 3 things. But if you don't like sparkle and you like a matte bronzer, then this won't be for you. So who is this for? This is for somebody who likes radiance, color payoff, sheen, longevity, and a powder formula. This can enliven your skin. You can put it on all over like you would a bronzer, or you can use it just as your blush if you have a skin tone that can permit it. I wore it one day simply by itself and wore a really bright lipstick. Oh, it was fabulous. The only reason I'm giving this 4 stars as far as performance and price, the price of course is, it is exceptionally affordable. Everything that I'm showing you today is under $12, and so that's a plus. But the only reason I took off a star for this one is because of the smell. It has that typical Noxzema Covergirl smell from back in the day. I'm talking 20 years ago, good grief, even more than that. But it does have that significant, smell, telltale smell that it's a Covergirl product. There's a lot of products that once you apply it, you can smell it. Oh my gosh, you can't wait to take it off because it's bothersome. This is not the case. It fades away, dissipates. The longevity is terrific on the wear test. As far as the wrinkle test, it did not settle in my crow's feet. Therefore, this gets the 4 out of 5 stars. The color, the payoff, longevity, and the wear test, wrinkle test, it's terrific. And the price, I believe this is not even $7. And if you need a bronzer and a blonzer, a brush and a bronzer and a highlighter, you've kind of got it all here. Now, the rival to this is Beach Walk Betty by RMS. So if you're looking for something like that, here you go. Number 2 at the drugstore. Wow, impressive. Way to go, Covergirl. You're hanging in there and going strong. The next thing was a new find. I've never seen this before. This is by Physicians Formula. This one is called the Mineral Wear Diamond Baked Blush, and I have the color Ruby Diamond. So what I did is I put on my Covergirl Soft Mink as a bronzer, and then I went on top just here with this, and this gave me the highlight effect. This product is so unexpectedly excellent. When I took it out of the box and I applied it, I truly was expecting nothing. I'm like, oh, it's another, they have so many of the same thing of the butter formula, and there's just a bunch in boxes, right? So when I took it out of the box, wasn't expecting any payoff. I put my brush in, I put it on, I could not believe my eyes. It looked like I had highlighter. It looked soft. It didn't look garish. It wasn't powdery. And that's the thing with a lot of the drugstore blushes I have found look real powdery on my skin, and they emphasize dryness and they make my crow's feet look awful. This one, there's a radiance about it, and you can see all that in here, how it's weaved in, that baked formula, and it's truly that, what it says, the diamond baked formula, and it is mineral, and it's talc free. So if that's something important to you, keep that in mind. But this is superb. As far as who it's for, you can have dry skin, super dry skin, as I do. I mean, mine's even flaking, for heaven's sakes. But if you have dry skin, normal skin, combo skin, and you don't like powder, you might want to try this because it sits soft on the skin. It doesn't seep into your lines around your eyes. And therefore, it was a pleasure. And guess what? It stayed on until I took it off that night. I kept testing every hour, waiting for it to fade. It didn't fade. So this gets 5 out of 5 stars. The Drugstore is rocking. They are really putting out some great products. It's impressive. This one is a highlighter and a blush in one. Soft radiance, glowy. It's not aging. For mature over 50 skin, this will enhance, lift, brighten. What's not to love? Way to go, Physicians Formula. 5 out of 5. I picked a bunch of winners for us. Okay, the next thing, I wanted to get something to complement the e.l.f. eyeshadows. So I went on ahead and picked up for us to test the L'Oreal Infallible Twist Up. This particular formula I haven't had before, and I got the color Brown Denim because I was trying to be cohesive here. I thought this would be a good everyday, and as opposed to wearing black, if you want to go softer in the day, this is like a really deep black brown, but not as much black as you would expect. So therefore, it's very, very beautiful on. This is an automatic twist up, no sharpening needed, and it has a smudger on the end. This formula is matte. It goes on smooth as silk. Who is it for? It's for anybody, any age group, no matter how old you are, no matter what color eye you have. This will complement it. This brown denim, it's very nice because it's not too dark, it's not too gray, it's not too red. So if you're looking for a brown that's not too brown, not too red, not too gray, this is called brown denim. It would go with any eye, and guess what? It didn't smear, not a bit. Again, no primer, and I went over the e.l.f. and I have it on right now. It lasted until I took it off. I did apply it under my eye as a test because I wanted to see the longevity of it. This is terrific. Long wearing, beautiful color. The price and the performance are out of sight. This is under $9. The performance is outstanding. Now, who's the rival? The rival is my Lancome eye pencil. It's their waterproof one. They have one called Black Coffee that I have worn for years. And guess what? This is the dupe. It's the rival. This is almost identical to Black Coffee, except Black Coffee has more black in it. For a softer look, oh my stars. And the price point of this, you can't go wrong. L'Oreal, way to go. Impressive. Wow. Okay, the last thing on the Drugstore that I tested for all of us, because when you go in, you just don't know. It's like a box of chocolates. But for our test together at the Drugstore, I picked up a Tubi mascara to try for both of us. And let's see how it adds up. I picked up the Milani highly rated lash extensions. The packaging is fabulous. Look at this. Okay. This is the Milani. Had no expectations. Well, I put this on and I was a little taken aback. It has a flexible wand. So who is this for? This could be for anybody, simply because it has the flexible wand, and it comes out quite nice. It is a thin formula. It's not thick. It's not goopy. It didn't smear. It didn't irritate my eyes. And I was actually shocked that when I put it on, guess what happened? It lifted and curled my eyelashes too. And it seemed like it didn't do it at the time, but it's almost as the time went on, I would keep checking in, and I was doing our test, and I thought, I can't get over it, but my lashes are lifted up. I have not used an eyelash curler in 20, 30 years, probably more than that. And so therefore, this gives lift. It doesn't advertise it gives some lift, but it does, at least on mine, and my eyelashes are a hot mess. But this curled them, lifted them, it brightened my eye. Now, the wear test was no flake, no smudge. I didn't have those spider eyelashes. It's not spiky. It wasn't goopy. I was really, really, really impressed with this product. For a tubing mascara, the first one I've tried at the drugstore, it was a pleasure to wear. Now, what did I give it on a rating for us? I gave it a 4 stars. Why? Because the formula is thinner than its rival that I shall tell you about momentarily. But I felt like I have to put on, like today, I had to put on 3 coats to get it to where it's where I want it. Whereas its rival, which is it's by Tarte, it's called their Tartelette Tubing Mascara. That one, I put 1 coat, I get the lift, it coats my lashes, and I call it a day. So there's no work involved. This one, it's a thinner formula, but for the price, my goodness, you can't go wrong. If you want to try a tubing mascara from the drugstore and you want to pay under $11, you've got to give this one a shout out because it's a consideration. Yes, you may have to put on more layers, but perhaps it's because my lashes are so skimpy. If you have lush, thick, beautiful lashes, you might get away with just 1 coat. And you know what? This one, it comes off like a dream. It just came right off. No lash loss, no sensitivity, it didn't burn my eyes, no stinging. This is awesome. If you need a tubing mascara and you're at the drugstore, check this one out. You'll be surprised because I am. I'm pretty overwhelmed by this product. Yes, it takes 3 coats, but for the price, wow. 4 stars only because I have to put on 3 coats. But this is a winner. And Milani, they really knock it out of the park. Milani has such beautiful products, but I still didn't anticipate anything. And what a pleasure. Well, there we go. That was our drugstore test for some products. When you walk in, that now we've shared this together, you know what to expect. Because when you walk in there, you don't know what's going to happen. There's so many new products, and there's just thousands of things to look at. It can get really overwhelming. But if you're a mature woman, we've got to be careful. I mean, this is a way to save a lot of money. And these products perform. That's the beauty of this, is you're not wasting your money because they actually, the price point is terrific, and they actually perform beautifully. What's not to love? I'm so happy that you were here with me today, and I hope that you enjoyed learning about these because it was so much fun to do this test for us because it opened my eyes to some products that I would have never known about otherwise. Thank you again. I'll see you in the next video, and take care.